Brewery Insurance and Winery Insurance 101. Hey, it's Kagan with Britebee.com, where we take the sting out of insurance searching. And if you like the sound of that, give us a thumbs up right down there. Thumbs up. Craft beer and microbreweries have seemed to become not only trendy, but the choice drink for many locals and beer connoisseurs. If you're watching this, you probably are one of those people who loves the craft and is either starting a brewery business or already crushing it. Brewery insurance should be something you get squared away on before you start crafting your precious liquid. We went straight to the experts on this one and spoke to Adrian with Monreal Insurance Solutions. First, what does a brewery owner need to know about brewery insurance?
The thing that brewer owners need to know about brewery insurance, it's that it's actually affordable. Good insurance and affordable insurance are not mutually exclusive. And what's nice about breweries in particular is, you have the guy brewing kombucha, from their house when they first start. And, years down the line, they're making the big bucks, so they have a little bit more exposure, so they need more insurance. So it's a gradual, slow thing. So I think something that the best thing I could always tell people if they want to get into brewing or they need more brewery insurance in particular, that it's nice because the cost up front is a slow, gradual thing.
What are some misconceptions about brewery insurance?
As I said earlier, it's not as expensive as people might think, but I would actually piggyback on that and say once they already have insurance, they think that the only thing they need is general liability. And the reason why they need that is they probably got bigger, they're moving into a place, and if they're leasing, their landlord is requiring this. And the reality is, it's very much buffet style, I guess you could say, or a la carte when you go into brewery insurance. And a commercial general liability insurance will only cover a certain amount. But unfortunately, it may or may not cover their property or their personal stuff. And that's very important because when it comes to personal liability, personal insurance, you're going to need that stuff, the property that you've invested in your business. So you went from having a little keg to now having a tank. So we're talking about investing in your things that you may have started to just be like a $50 thing. Now you're getting into the thousands. So you want to make sure you protect that way as you grow. And as I said earlier, it's going to be a slow transition. So not everything is upfront.
How much do these insurance policies cost?
So it really depends. And once again, I can't stress enough that how important it is to, what's nice as an insurance agent to get into this niche is I literally deal with somebody that's just starting off in their garage versus a bigger business. And what I've noticed is it's a nice gradual increase. So I would never meet somebody and just kind of tag a price line on them because I need to know everything about them. Because I want to make sure they're not overpaying or they're not underpaying. So this policy could literally cost anywhere from $500 to $600. They're doing it from home, or we're talking about the $20,000 range policy. And it really depends on the coverages they want, coverages they need, right? And again, it's a gradual process. I would never sell a policy or suggest a policy to somebody that's just starting in their garage if they won't be able to afford it and they honestly don't need it. But I also, on the flip side, I don't want to have a guy that's been 20 years in the business offering him a $2,000 policy that only has $5,000 in coverage. I mean, that's awful.
And what are some important coverages craft brewers should be considering?
I think a big one, I think, is definitely equipment breakdown coverage. So I think that is huge because it's an add-on to a policy. It's not a policy that it's not the big ones like, personal property or commercial general liability or workers' comp. Those are the big buzzwords in insurance. But equipment breakdown is so unique to the brewers because they literally use these things every single day, these tanks that are, unfortunately with making beer, it's not you're brewing beer today, you can sell it tomorrow. These things take months. So if one of those things break down, what's going to happen? They have to start all over again. And what's really great about equipment breakdown coverage is not only does it really cover the actual property that you need coverage for, the tanks or the pipes that it's actually making you business, but it actually covers you while the money that you're losing. So if you have employees, if you're paying yourself a certain income, this is going to be good for you because you're going to kind of need that money coming in for that cash flow. So if something breaks down and you don't have anything, there's literally no money generating, that's actually a great coverage to have, because it kind of helps you pave a way for the future. You know, if people start growing and they start off with hiring their brothers and their sisters and their cousins, and they feel that they don't need to cover them, and it's actually not true, because unfortunately, although you might trust your brother, you might trust your sister, you might trust a family member or a friend, they have needs too, and that's why it's become a law, especially in California. If someone gets hurt, it's your duty as a business owner, it's your duty as a person, just take care of them, because people have needs. So if they trip and fall, if they get hurt on the job, they have a family to feed. And we want to make sure as business owners, not only to protect your brand, but only to protect your employees, that we make sure that we get that covered for them. So that's and that's not necessarily a brewery specific, but that's just an insurance in general. We want to make sure that we're building best practices, and just kind of building a name of ourselves, or being a good business owner, period.
What are common mistakes brewers make when choosing the right insurance policy?
I would have to go back and say price. It's the insurance agent's job to be honest and straightforward with their client, because at the end of the day, for example, I'm the one responsible in giving good advice. At the same time, I feel a lot of agents don't focus on a niche, unfortunately, and they come up with, they were referred to by a brother or a sister or a friend because they sold them auto insurance, and this guy happens to be be a brewer, and unfortunately, the agent gives them misleading advice, not purposely. He could be a nice guy, he just doesn't know his niche, and he just focuses on the price. And the agent owner also focuses on the price. And the brewery owner always focuses on the price as well. And I think it's important for them to do their own research, because it's not only just about selling beer, right? Once you're a business owner, you got to know your niche, and you need to know how to protect yourself. And I'm not saying to be perfect and knowing every little exposure that you have, but at least knowing kind of like some basics on how to run your business, because that way, if the insurance agent that you're talking to knows his stuff, or if he doesn't. Like I said earlier, equipment breakdown coverage, that's like pretty niche stuff. Everybody knows about general liability, right? But there's some stuff that a person needs to know, just basic information to help protect their business.
But don't just take our word for it. It's important to speak with an expert on brewery and winery insurance. Check out the description below to learn more about Adrian, or check out Britebee.com for more highly reviewed insurance professionals in your area. Drink responsibly.
Thanks for watching our video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.